Welcome back to another episode of
Family Meeting.
My name is Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tenari.
And this is Family Meeting, the laid-back, discussion-based portion of the Family Album podcast.
That's right.
I don't know why I felt the need to go all like, yeah, we're bringing you Sirius XM.
You're feeling very radio host today?
Very Radiohead.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
No surprises there. So nothing too extravagant for this family meeting, which I don't think we've ever had anything really extravagant for family meeting.
I mean, Matt, what are you talking about? We did The Grand Romantic by Nate Roos on this show.
You know what? That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We were holding our own in a great big storm. But this time around, AJ and I thought it would be time to finally do my season 1 ranking before it just absolutely evades me because we are busy boys.
That's a good point. And this time, we're not going to split it up into 5 parts.
If you guys want, we can.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to edit that.
Like the rest of the family meeting for this season is just the season 1 ranking.
You know, honestly, that's not a bad idea. How about we save the season 3 ranking and then do it that way?
Yeah, 5 parts every time.
But the best part about it is we won't do it consecutively. We'll do like 1, then a different family meeting, then 2, then like a different family meeting.
Exactly.
So we could just milk this as much as possible.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's great. The algorithm is going to love that.
And so are our fans.
But yeah, I'm going to give my very quick family album season 1 ranking. It was weird kind of coming back to these albums.
I know. It's been 2 years since we've talked about most of them, besides like some that we brought on like Tom Hate's albums.
And some that we've definitely talked about like on and off the podcast.
Yeah.
One infamous one in mine. Also infamous, technically. There's 2 infamous ones.
That's
one
true.
is literally infamous and the other one is just bad.
Yeah.
I separated it by tiers. I didn't do any number rankings. I didn't feel like it.
Fair enough.
And this might be cheating a little bit. 4 of the albums that are on this list are done by the same artist, and if I'm being completely honest with you, they're going to just hold 1 spot.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly just because they're kind of the same to me, if I'm being honest.
Gotcha.
So I felt like since they were the same episode, I didn't feel like they needed to have their own like
Spot on the whole ranking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be 2 spots less than what AJ had on his 5-part ranking. But without further ado, I'm ready to jump into it.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna be starting with our F tier albums.
Let's go. Do we have any?
Oh yeah, we have 3.
Word.
Our first F tier album is PTX Volume 1 and
Wow.
4.
Damn.
I think my opinions on just them in general have completely soured, unfortunately.
I mean, kind of valid.
Due in part to our podcast discussions and our completely accurate history of the band.
That's true.
My whole thing is just this. I don't even really consider them like nuanced albums per se.
No.
They're just kind of pick and choosy, which I don't love most of the time. And I also just feel like you need to mix it in with other things. But as an album listen, it's like you say, the mouth noises, I'm just not a fan of them.
No, it's very obnoxious and it gets old really, really fast.
It really does. Like, Papa Tooie, what the fuck is that?
I mean, of those tracks, I think that was like one of the high points, but still.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's also just tough because, like, not to really dive into my Doofenshmirtz, like, backstory here, but, like,
I had this balloon.
Yeah, balloony. I did acapella in high school. It just reminds me of bad memories.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of them I did like arrangements for in high school. Like I didn't do the arrangements. No, they were arrangers in their own right. Remember?
Yes.
But but I also
like you perform them.
yeah. And honestly, I'm ready to kind of just let this
era.
Let it lie. Even though it's at the bottom, I don't really know. Like these are weird because they slot differently. I'm not even like that sure of the placement I have on here, but these are just albums that I know I'm never gonna listen to again.
Yeah.
Which is just how I like listen to in full, which is just how I kind of did this entire list.
Gotcha.
I just pretty much did, will I listen to this again, yay or nay? Have I listened to this a lot or have I listened to this very little? So that's pretty much how I've been doing this. Me listening to these albums in full is very slim. The chances are.
Gotcha.
So
I mean, makes sense.
we'll keep it there. That was number 42. Number 41 is Weapons of Mass Destruction.
Holy shit, I got an F tier?
Okay, I realized from my notes, I did not write like anything cohesive at all. Maybe I was just having a bad day. I don't know. I don't think I was when I was listening to it. If I'm being honest with you, I don't really like it.
There's definitely some bad songs on there for sure.
I don't know. Like, again, this is based off of just likelihood of me listening to it again.
Yeah.
I find the samples just way too aggressive. I don't find Exhibit's like charisma as an MC to be very enthralling or engaging. So yeah, that's kind of it for me again. I mean, maybe there's like nuanced story, but I don't know. I personally just don't care for it very much.
I see.
Hip hop and rap can be aggressive. It's just not really for me. So I also it's just constant like, yeah, we're gonna like, I don't give a shit about that. I'm sorry.
Did you re-listen to most of these albums?
A good amount actually. Yeah, I listened to them as I was like at work and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
In my headphones too. So
wow, la-di-da.
But I just was like, this is not my thing at all. Sometimes with guest episodes, I try my best to not like be like too mean if I don't like something.
Yeah.
Maybe F tier is a little harsh, but I just don't see myself listening to it again.
I mean, I guess like for your guidelines for what F tier means, it makes sense like putting it in there.
Yeah, I mean the quality of it is fine. I just don't care for it.
Yeah.
Kind of veering on track of like albums that do kind of deserve the F tier is Cry Baby by Melanie Martinez.
Let's go.
I kind of just felt like, I don't know, we've definitely
we talked about this album to death.
We've griped on this album for so long.
Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you,
guest
Elizabeth.
of the podcast for bringing this on the show.
What more can I say about it? It's just a really weird concept. Her execution is just very strange.
Very flawed.
Her singing is fine, but I just don't like the whole like comparing real issues to just like childhood things. It makes me revisit things I don't like, and it's just not pleasant to listen to. The album is very moist, and I don't like that.
That it is.
So I don't think there's much more to say there. So that is at the top of my F tier in 40th place.
Nice.
We're moving on to my D tier albums.
What do we got?
At the bottom is Give Me the Future by Bastille at number 39.
Checks out.
It's just not good, especially compared to like the rest of their projects. The only project by Bastille that I genuinely think is good at this point is All This Bad Blood. Just because it was the first one. I have fond memories of like all those songs. And like, you know, their album Doom Days, I have fond memories of that, even though I can definitely see an argument that that's like one of their worst albums. This album just is weird. Like sonically, it's fine to listen to, and I love like synth and techno and like all that stuff. Dan Smith is just not a good lyricist.
No, he really is not.
I'm so scared to listen to their new album still. Like I haven't even like. Every time I think of listening to Ampersand, I like shudder a little bit. Like I don't know,
like a
man.
boogeyman.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, no, just what is it? Is it virtual porn?
Yep. That was in there. Blade Run running away. Get that the fuck out of here.
Blade Run away. I don't know why it just made me think of Psycho Killer. Psycho Killer. Bad Blood.
Blade Run away.
Oh man, terrible.
Yeah. Also for a concept album, it is very confused in its execution. Like in terms of themes where it's like talking about both the dangers and like the joys of technology, where it's like the thesis is like society is changing for the worse, but it's like talking about just the fun of being like in your 20s and like nightlife and like the city. It's really fucking weird.
It's almost like trying to be like, oh, the fun of being in like a dystopia, and it's like, listen, you can't really complain about it and, you know, also enjoy it.
Yeah, your message gets lost very quickly.
I believe you said having your cake and eat it too is like one of the biggest things about this album. And it largely talks about nothing.
Essentially, yeah.
Listen, the edgy alternative vibes, I can get behind it for some of their songs. Some of their songs still do hit, but not on this one.
Yep.
Not on this one at all. But that is number 39. Number 38 is Badlands by Halsey.
Wow, okay.
I just don't care for it. It's long.
Boring.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
She's a great vocalist. I like New Americana enough to like listen to that song again.
Yeah.
But that's like the only song I think I would actually
like seek out.
Yeah, like if I wanted to go to heaven, I'm not gonna go to this album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was an interesting episode in itself from the combination of that and Crybaby. I very much just don't see myself listening to that again, if I'm being real.
It's just not a very engaging album.
Not at all.
I will say her album from last year, The Great Impersonator, actually pretty good. Really, really interesting. Way more diverse in terms of sound because the whole concept was her trying to like emulate the music stylings of all of her musical idols.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking cool for those who have not checked it out.
I need to check out more of her stuff. I'm sure Badlands just kind of, as a whole, gave me kind of a bad taste.
Yeah.
But that is my number 38. My number 37 is... don't kill me, you or AJ. It is Starbomb.
That's valid.
Listen, I don't have any nostalgic attachment towards Starbomb. I only listened to that album with the exception of Dangerous to Go Alone. When I was in college, I don't have any nostalgia factor for it.
Yeah.
It just kind of is whatever, and it's hard to take seriously, but I didn't want to like put it in F tier because there's definitely some moments that had a lot of hard work put into it. It's just not really my cup of tea. Yeah. I do think that the newest one is it Ninja Sex Party or Starbomb that released another one?
They dropped an album The Rise of Lyric, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was them.
That was Starbomb. From what I've listened to, I do like the production on that one.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Definitely their best produced album so far.
My friend Andrew played it for me in the car when we were hanging out, and I was like, wow, this is kind of sexy. Holy shit. But I don't know. I think it's a good product of its time. It's just not really for me. And it's hard. I really just didn't see it going higher than like C or D on this list.
I gotcha.
This list is really just based off of pure vibes.
I see.
Because also, like, not for anything, it's season 1. It's so in the past.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of... we gotta move forward. We gotta keep... give me the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dan Smith said it best.
Fuck them, fuck them,
fuck them all.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. So at the top of my D tier is Kamikaze by Eminem.
Nice.
An album where it just is trying to recover from the backlash of the previous album.
Yeah.
It's such a tacky move, and like... I don't recall like anything off of this album, if I'm being real.
Yeah, besides like Venom and then the title track itself, which is just like the weird polka one.
I forgot about the polka one.
Yeah.
It rips off an album cover that already exists by the Beastie Boys.
A much better album.
A much better album from what I hear. Yeah, I don't know. Especially in comparison to the other Eminem album that's on this list, I was like, this can't be near that at all.
Yeah, Kamikaze sucks.
It's not very good. It's not very good. D tier, top of my D tier. I didn't think it deserved F tier per se.
No, the like last couple tracks are pretty good. Like the last two before Venom are solid. Everything else are just mediocre or bad.
Yeah. Some meat and okra.
Exactly. Eminem's favorite foods.
That he eats all the time now with every album. Now we're reaching the bottom of my C tier.
So what do we got?
We got Turtleneck and Chain.
Yeah.
It's just incredibly average musically. I mean, it's just them kind of rapping over
like club beats.
Over club beats. And it's a funny gimmick, but I definitely just do not see it going higher than this.
Yeah.
It's got some fun moments on here. The Flygore bit is you know,
of course.
The Flygore bit of
2012?
Probably.
Something like that.
Andy Samberg was on something else.
Yeah.
I feel like in that time. In his like peak SNL days, he was, I don't know what he was doing to come up with these concepts. But I think it's a fun album for what it is, but I don't see myself really listening to it in full, at least very often.
Yeah.
Like I can at least for a laugh, like every, I don't know, 15 months possibly. I could see myself putting this on. Like I think this song has Rocky on it.
Yep.
I like that track.
That one's funny.
The beat's good, and I don't know. It's very it kind of taps in my epic rap battles of history lineage.
I see.
I'm not gonna be like, yeah, this is my S tier album or even my B tier album.
Like I will agree. This is an album I will never listen to again. I feel like,
and I have some nostalgia for it because this has Threw It on the Ground, I believe.
Yeah,
and I've seen a lot of the music videos, and I can picture the music videos in my brain.
I think I Just Had Sex is on here too.
Yeah, like it's fun. It's good for what it is.
Comedy album.
It's very much of its time.
Yeah,
I can leave it there.
Exactly.
So at 34, I see myself listening to this album again, probably every once in a while, but I might have a heartbreaking thing, and I to just say, it's Asia by Steely Dan.
Holy shit.
So, okay, I want to make this perfectly clear, AJ. I am not saying Steely Dan is bad. They're just not for me.
Yeah.
And I tried listening to like not even like a full album of theirs. I tried listening to like a This Is Steely Dan kind of playlist and just like more of their music. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool because I know AJ really likes them. I just don't really think they're like my thing.
Okay.
There's an area of like, what are they, like prog jazz?
Like jazz rock, yacht rock.
I think there's an area of that where I just kind of am like, this'll hold me. You know what I mean? I just think like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of the Dan, and it's not me saying that they are bad. It's not like me gonna be like, Loveless is the worst. Like, no, I'm not about to make a declaration that like Steely Dan is the worst band, because they're very good. I just don't really see myself, at least with this album especially, like listening to it very often.
Yeah,
but I can see myself listening to it in full again if I really feel like it.
Down the line, maybe.
The Peg riff is cool.
I'll take that, because I remember we had a disagreement about that song.
It's not a bad album at all, and I like it enough. It's just the more and more I'm kind of feeling like I know what my taste is, I just don't really
see Steely Dan in there.
Yeah, or really just seeing them part of my rotation very much in general.
Gotcha.
This also is coupled with the fact that my one coworker plays them at work all the time.
I see.
So I do get kind of tired of hearing a band where the name of them came from a vibrator.
Yeah.
So at the very end of the day, that's
honestly one of the only reasons I like them, actually.
The Steely Dan. That's a crazy name for a vibrator.
Yeah, it came from a book.
Sounds like a fucking like a pistol, like a fucking like Glock or some shit. Steely Dan? No, it's a vibrator.
William S. Burroughs was cooking something different in the 50s.
I can see this one being subject to change, which is why I obviously didn't want to put it too low. But I don't know, man. I don't really view this being in my rotation very much. This is very much a ranking that's mostly based off of taste.
Yeah.
With the exception of a couple that I think deserve to be like in the A and S tier, I think.
Okay.
So right above that is Chit Chat and What a Drag.
Yeah, I think that's valid at this point. They're solid enough for what they are.
Also, taste-wise, it's more in the direction that I kind of like with like the whole alternative indie. It's generally positive. It's just a very like pretty standard like indie rock sound.
Yeah, very short.
Very short. I also very much enjoy that. It was a good episode, and I like the discussion that we had.
The two wolves.
The two wolves side
the
of
origins,
us. Vibrant and beefy, both starting with B. I like all that. No, it's a good time, and like I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's like maybe for somebody like Maria who like really likes the band, they probably do like active listens and it's like, yeah, this is the shit. But for me, it's just kind of like, you know,
it's chill to have on the background.
Plus they're EPs. I can't put them very high on the list just for that. Right above that is Are We Not Men? No, We Are Devo.
Higher than I expected, honestly.
Me too.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I re-listened to it and I was like, okay, it's not really like something I want to listen to a lot, but like hard work is hard work, and I love just the sounds that they achieve on this album. It's so wild, really dipping into like the almost like Brian Eno level of fucking psychedelia surf rock, kind of like
techno, new wave stuff.
It's wild, and that one cover they have on that album is also very fun.
Oh yeah, Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Yeah,
so different from the Stones, which is great.
It's really cool, and I think they have a really nice spin, especially for 60s. 70s?
This was late 70s.
Late 70s. Still though, like it definitely was unlike probably a lot of what was around at the time.
Yeah.
So I can very much appreciate it for that. And I didn't want to put it too low because it's got character and it's fun. Even when it has some kind of troubling like song titles and concepts. It's got some like fun moments that I can definitely say.
Very quirky.
Yeah. I mean, look at that album cover.
Exactly. It says it all, honestly.
Oh, man. I feel like I'm, like, zipping through these. I just don't want... There's a lot on here.
Man, you gotta save stuff for part 2, of course.
That's true. Yeah, we gotta pad out season 4. Holy shit. Have you been thinking at all that, like, we're about to go into season 4 at the end of this?
No.
That's crazy. Well,
it's kind of wild.
Like, it's insane to think about that we've been doing this for, like, 3 seasons.
3 years.
3 years. Oh man, Kid Nation, y'all should watch it. It is one hell of a video.
A very failed social experiment.
Right above Devo at 31st place is Twin Fantasy by Car Seat Headrest. I think this album has great songs. I like the guy's singing voice, and I like the overall vibe because, again, it's like the indie kind of rock. It's very indie.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost too indie. No, but like I do like it. And I think I like it a bit more than like Devo because it's kind of in that ballpark area of my taste. I think it is not higher on my list because it is just long.
Yeah, it's like an hour, 11 minutes or something.
It's like pretty long, and like some of the production choices also kind of halt this from being higher on my list, if I'm being honest. And while I do like his voice, a lot of his vocal choices are also like are also kind of the reasons why they're not like super, super high on this list. This is an album that like every long span of time in between I will listen to probably in full. I had some songs on playlists. I'm pretty sure since then all of them have been deleted off of the playlist.
Yeah.
I could appreciate them for what they're worth. Also, some of the song concepts and lyrics are a little weird.
Yeah, I think that's just a product of Car Seat Headrest.
You mentioned to Andrew Marshall, like, what does this mean? And Andrew was just like, I don't fucking know. It was like a weird word. I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't know. 3DS days, man.
Yeah, 3DS days for real.
Yeah.
I feel like if that would be an album that could possibly make it back on Tom Hates albums, and that like might be one that goes below B tier for me because like I don't get it.
And that's kind of me too. Like I don't view myself being part of like the fan base.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be returning this super often, but I would definitely give it like another listen. It's on like the higher end of my C tier.
Yeah.
At number 30, we have Hurry Up We're Dreaming by M83.
Okay.
I gave it a listen most of the way through. Again. And I think it's good. I like the electronic elements a lot in it. I still very much like a lot of the interlude songs.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the word interlude for some reason. I do like this album for like its vibes, but I don't see myself listening to it like all of the time.
Yeah.
It also feels kind of long, if I'm being honest. I mean, I can kind of, if you remember my takes from it, like from season 1, a lot of it does kind of blend together.
Yeah, at a point especially.
I think it also is very much a product of its time, but it does sonically still hold up production-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I still see TikToks where people are using songs from it like all the time, which is crazy. Even the one it's like da, do, do, da.
Yeah.
Wait. No.
Like the big song from that album.
Yeah.
What the fuck's it called? I don't remember.
I don't care. I don't really care if I'm being honest. Yeah, no. I mean, upon this re-listen that I had, I was just kind of like, yeah, it's pretty middle of the road for me. I can see myself listening to it again in full. My Tears Are Becoming a Sea is like the only song on there that I genuinely like love and can listen to all of the time.
Yeah.
It's short, it's sweet, it sounds grandiose, and I like his vocals. I forget what the guy's name is, but he is really, really fun vocals where he just like screams almost in like an emo kind of style.
Yeah.
But like, it's not quite. So yeah,
it's an interesting blend.
It is. I think that's like one of my most middle of the road albums, I would say. So these next two are going to probably really surprise you. So hold on to your seat, AJ.
Oh boy.
And I have a reason for this. My next one on top of this one is Recess by Skrillex.
Okay.
It's on kind of the higher end of my C tier. I recently have kind of fell a little bit back in love with it.
Interesting.
I don't listen to it very often, mostly because it has songs like Fuck That and Doompy Poomp. But but like at the same time, my one coworker plays a lot of dubstep, and occasionally songs from this album will like
pop up
again, and I'm like, oh, this reminds me of when I was like, younger and really enjoyed this album.
Yeah.
So I think I can appreciate like credit and hard work where it's due. Because Skrillex as a producer, he is good. He is a good producer, and he very much like really knows how to manipulate sound. I think the reason why this isn't higher on my list is because it is very much a product of his time.
Totally, yeah.
And I don't know. I think like I like the new stuff that he's doing now. He kind of has like a bit more of like a chill house thing happening, which is really, really cool.
As opposed to like the very busy in-your-face production of this album.
But yeah, but even so, like songs like Ease My Mind, even though it's very busy in a lot of places, and as you mentioned on the episode, there was a song where you said it sounded like someone shitting through a clarinet.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that.
even though like it's got moments like that, I think there's like a huge nostalgia factor for it. So I can see myself listening to it again in full. Not like again all the time, because my dubstep days I think are for the most part over. I mean, I don't know.
Who's to say what happens next year?
I've met people in their 60s that like dubstep, so maybe if I...
That'll be you one day, Matt.
That'll be me one day.
Yeah.
Oh, man, when all hope is lost.
Like flailing glow sticks at 65.
Oh, man. When I get old, losing my hair. When I'm 65. Yeah, I think for nostalgia factor, I couldn't push it down too low. I tried to be more I'm trying to be less like backpedaling of like my opinions. So I feel like in season 1, I was like, oh man, I want to seem like I really like these albums because I don't know a lot of albums, and I want to seem like like I really I stand with it. But then like I don't know. Now I can definitely say I have a lot of albums under my belt between the podcast and like outside listening. But
opinions change over time too.
Yeah.
Which I mean, we've done time and time again on this podcast.
Oh yes, we have. I can't wait to see what the next album I hate that you bring
exactly
will be for me,
and then a season later,
because I'll like it in like a year.
And then Tom will get upset by that.
I do love when he gets upset by it. I'm not gonna lie to you, like. Just the satisfaction of hearing him go, you gotta stop doing this to me. Like, that shit was so funny.
Yeah.
At the top of my C tier is Some Nights by Fun.
Wow, that's a high praise for this album.
Is it?
Well, I mean, compared to where I had it.
Yeah. Listen, this might also be, in turn, like nostalgia factors for me. The intro is not good.
No.
There are lots of moments on this album that are not good, like 1 Foot, even though for some reason I really used to like it like a lot. There are some low moments on here that are pretty fucking low. I mean, Out on the Town is like one of the worst tracks in this album.
It gets better.
Of course. Sucks ass. But like, I still find that I still have love for like Carry On.
Yeah.
We Are Young, kind of. I do like Some Nights as a song, except for the like auto-tune shit. But I also like All Alright. I like All Alone. I like Why Am I the One? And I like Stars up until that stupid auto-tune break. Like, there's lots of moments on there that I can't lie and I still like. I don't listen to them very often because I've tried very hard to keep them like out of my algorithm as much as possible. There's been enough fueled by ramen glazing in my time. But no, like, I think for nostalgic purposes and just like, I don't know, there are high points on the album that I think are deserving a bit of my praise.
Yeah.
Because I like to think with every album that I've listened to and like all the artists I listen to, I've kind of since like built off what I like and what I don't like, and I've since found avenues of like fulfilling those deficits that the album's created.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's definitely not all bad, like you said. There are definitely good moments on there. It's just the bad ones are kind of distracting.
Bad. They are pretty bad. I mean, tea parties and Twitter, AJ.
Never have I been so bitter.
Remember the whale? There's like a whale in the beginning.
I do remember the whale. That was pretty cool.
There was a whale on our last guest episode.
There was.
It's pretty cool.
Intruded the studio.
Yeah.
As we were going underwater.
That's true. But that is ending my C tier. We are now moving to my B tier albums.
Let's go.
So at number 25, we have the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band at the bottom of my B tier. I like a lot of the tracks on this album, and the highs on this album, I think, arguably are very high.
Yeah.
Even like Help I'm a Rock.
It's fun.
Just so fucking funny.
Yeah, man. Frank Zappa.
I was about to say, yeah, this is a Zappa like adjacent project. I mean, he was directly involved, but also like this is kind of like in the beginning portion of his career. And it's really, really cool to see like a lot of the shit that like very much got pushed into music later. Like this is considered an album that people like say other genres like stem from.
Yeah.
And I really like it. I mean, I Won't Hurt You is enough of a song that like makes me love the whole album. And then there are also, oh shoot, what's like the really peaceful one? Fuck.
It's been a while since we talked about.
That is like the first episode that we ever did.
the first album we ever talked about.
AJ, what do you mean? Can't you recall all of them from memory?
Oh, as podcast hosts, it is our duty to do that exact thing.
How are we supposed to compare to the Basement Yard, AJ?
Therapy Gecko.
Hawk Tua?
Sorry, Matt. It's Talk Tua.
Sorry, my bad. Isn't she like in insane financial debt?
She did a crypto scam.
Of course she did.
Quote unquote unintentionally, but you know, who's to say?
I think it's Layla. Layla is the one that's like really, really nice.
I do remember that now.
As I listened to this again, and I was like, yeah, this is
solid.
It is really, really it's a rock.
Exactly. It has to be.
No, it's a good time though. I felt like it was deserving of being in B tier because it's very much like a foundational like cornerstone almost psychedelic album, and I really like it. I Won't Hurt You. The reason why I even know of this album in general is because I Won't Hurt You was used in the movie Isle of Dogs, which I still haven't finished.
Okay.
And it's been like 5 years. I just realized that now. I've never seen the end of that movie. And I liked the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't finish it. I have that problem. I tend to not finish things in the middle of them. Much like a certain someone who hasn't finished Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Who could he be talking about?
It's
Tom,
it's fucking
listen
Evan.
up, dude.
Man, I don't want Tom to give any of his opinions on that. They're just going to upset me.
Honestly, that's a fair point.
They're just going to upset me. We can talk about that another time on a different podcast.
But this is the family meeting.
Where on the family meeting, we reveal that Matt's number 24 is Selling England by the Pound.
Okay.
It's a great album.
It is a really fucking good album.
It's why I needed it to be in B tier.
Yeah, one of my favorites of all time.
I mean, like, there are tracks on here that are fantastic. Epping Forest. That one was really, really cool. It was interesting that I brought Innuendo by Queen for that one.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't bring a different album by Queen.
I don't know. It was cool to just like do that one.
We should do another album by Queen. It is a great album though. I knew it was not going to go lower than B tier. I've enjoyed every Genesis project that you've given me. You'll see that later on my list as one is going to be.
I was expecting this one to be higher, I'll be honest.
Let me tell you, I don't want to spoil it. I really enjoy the other one.
Good shit.
Like a lot. Like, it's not too much higher than this one, but I have listened to that one a few times all the way through.
Nice.
Now that I know to use stereo instead of mono. Unlike last time where I accidentally had the mono setting on Spotify, and I was like, wow, this album's kind of boring. And then I listened to it again, and it was like, oh, wow.
So that's how it's supposed to sound.
This is really cool. Plus, there's the animatic on YouTube that very much, once I watched that all the way through, the album just became like so much more of an enjoyable listen.
Yeah.
I love how I'm talking about that album and
it's down the line.
It's 2 spots away and I'm already talking about it. But Selling England by the Pound, this was like my intro to Genesis, I believe.
I think
Lamb Lies Down come first?
Lamb Lies Down, it came after... An episode after, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, no. This was like my intro into Genesis for real, and genuinely, it's just got a lot of really good tracks.
Yeah.
Epping Forest is fucking awesome. The great intro too.
Dancing with the Moonlit Night.
It's so fucking cool. I'm actually looking at my old notes for it.
Oh hell yeah!
Because I I remember like placement wise, some of them besides Epping Forest, but I needed to like look through.
Yeah.
The Cinema Show is also pretty damn good.
I love the Cinema Show. It's one of my favorite Genesis songs.
I haven't listened to this album like recently. I would like to, but I definitely felt like there was just, this is an area of prog where I'm like, yes, this is, for some reason I fuck with this more than Steely Dan. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
They're great bands. Steely Dan, I can canonically, this is canon, guys.
I can confirm they are a good band.
This is the canon event. All of you guys, this is going to be the Oculus slide.
Oh, exactly. A family meeting episode 16.
Matt's going to canonically say Steely Dan is a good band, but I don't want to listen to them all the time. But no, this album is really, really solid, and I felt that it definitely deserved to be in B tier, because like I would for sure listen to this again.
Hell yeah, man.
This is just like, Genesis is just definitely a band where like musicianship is just such at its peak.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. I know I keep talking about Epping Forest, but that intro where it's like the marching, sometimes I've just played that song just to hear that. Like genuinely, it's just cool. It sounds good to me.
It sets up the song really well before just going right in with that hard-hitting instrumental. It's great.
Hell yeah. Number 23 though is kind of a surprise. That is The Infamous by Mobb Deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
This is an area of rap, of like kind of like gangster rap that like I definitely enjoy. I just think that the MCs on this are way more enticing
than Exhibit. Oh, totally.
Because I feel like it's less like, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass, and more like here's the deal, we're going to do this and I'm getting killed and like all this shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like this better. It seems more nuanced. The skits are a lot more fulfilling. It feels more real and lived in. And I don't know. I very much enjoyed this. I actually re-listened to this in full after hearing a song or two that came on the aux at my work. And I was like, yeah, I should re-listen to it. And genuinely,
it's a good album.
It's a good ass album.
Yeah.
I feel like honestly, like that's one thing about that episode. I wish I kind of liked rap more, because I would have definitely have been able to show my appreciation for a lot of the lyricism on here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that ending where they're all just like, where the one guy gets shot and they're all just like running away, like I can picture it. It's so crazy. It's
great storytelling.
It really is. It's awesome. And the subtlety is like there, and I really, really like that. Where Exhibit, I just felt like had like no subtlety.
No.
I did not care for it. Sometimes I just don't like aggression. Lamb Lies Down is at number 22.
There we go.
I very much like this album. It's just a good time. I feel like I already said my thoughts on it for Selling England by the Pound. But I do enjoy it a lot. It's just a very good time. I love just the whack-ass story. All for it to go to Life is Meaningless. As a guy who loves Nausea by Sartre and like fucking what's it called? Not nihilism, but absurdism. It's just so absurd.
Oh yes.
It's got things that could mean things, but not really. You got to be okay with them not meaning things. And as somebody who likes that aspect of philosophy, thematically, it is just such a fun album to listen to.
There's the world that Peter Gabriel creates is just so enthralling and fascinating.
It's the grand parade of lifeless packaging. Like, I listen to that song all of the time.
It's a banger.
Literally all the time. And the animatic that goes with it is so
awesome.
Fucking cool. Oh man, just the idea of like the guy in the factory of like the world that he knows, but they're all puppets and they're coming to life.
Yeah.
And, oh man, it's like my worst nightmare manifest. No, but it's a great album. I love just how weird some of these instrumentals get. Like fucking Slipperman.
Yep.
That track is just so
it's awesome. It just sounds like you're in a swamp. It's so cool.
I know we kind of made jokes about it. We're like, oh, he took his penis. Like all that shit. I feel like there's almost some albums I need to like retouch my notes on because at the time I was still very much like wet behind the ears with like practicing my critiques.
Yeah.
So, and critiquing an album like that is like really... It's an animal. It's a different kind of animal compared to like American Idiot. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's true. Like I feel like I'm kind of a seasoned veteran, like a little bit now.
And doing this 6 episodes into the podcast was kind of crazy.
Oh man, it's kind of crazy that Fabic chose this. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he was just like, yeah, it's a rock opera, so we're going to. Fataday, much love to you.
Yes.
Much love to you. You can't be too mad about it because the other rock opera you chose is a bit higher. So don't be too mad.
Yeah,
Fataday.
You just picked 2 really good albums for that
They were
episode.
really good.
Yeah,
but it's cool. It's really cool to see how this album like stuck with me.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised, but I'm very happy.
It's long, which it's like really, really long, which
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect me to like really enjoy it. But my God, there have been some long ass drives where I'm like, oh damn, I have to like kill like 2 hours. What do I do?
Lamb Lies Down.
And I just listen to Lamb Lies Down.
Fuck yeah, man.
I've taken an edible and listened to and watched the animatic too.
Good shit.
It's very fun. Anyway, on my list, I have the White Album by the Beatles. I think as much as I have gripes against this album, like as an album, the highs are really high. Like they're actually really, really, really high.
Oh yeah, man.
Like there are songs on here that like I think about just a lot and are kind of like core memories in my music listening journey. Martha, My Dear might be like one of my favorite Beatles songs of all
it's
time.
It's so good.
And even though the production isn't like my favorite as it's so intense as it like pans and channels or like stays in one channel or whatever, it's got some like really, really fun like musical moments. Like Savoy Truffle is just really, really cool.
Awesome funk organ in there.
I'm So Tired. Back in the USSR is a banger. Dear Prudence is one that I didn't like and now I really like.
Yeah, Helter Skelter, of course, is iconic.
Dude, I fucking love Helter Skelter. That is a
proto metal.
That's a Beatles track that I will play just like anytime. As much as I rip on Wild Honey Pie, it shows the album's personality at its finest. I feel
just throwing everything at the wall.
Granny Shit, Honey Pie, which
I really like Honey Pie.
Honey Pie is fun.
Yeah.
Paul's granny tunes are fucking fun, man.
Yeah, man. John Lennon, he didn't know what he was saying. A lot of the times, actually.
He did not know what he was doing. But there's a lot of fun moments on that album, and even though I try my best to cool off on like listening to the Beatles because they've been in my top 5 every year for like the last 2 years.
Wow.
And I want to get them out, and Weezer, which is unfortunate because I've had just like the biggest kick to listen to Weezer lately.
Gotcha.
We played all of Pinkerton at work, and I was like, oh my God, this is taking me back.
Not again.
Back to the shack. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the White Album is just fun. It's also one of my favorite episodes we recorded.
I agree.
I feel like that shows just like the weird nature of our podcast as it was like kind of becoming what it is now.
Yeah.
And as it continues to grow.
And ebb and flow.
Oh man. At number 20, we're reaching the bottom or the top
20. Let's go.
Not the bottom 20. We're well past that.
Crybaby at number 20 and 41.
See, the first time I listened to it, I did. Number 20 is American Idiot.
Yeah.
The highs on this album are just so good. Jesus of Suburbia might be my favorite Green Day song of all time.
I think I would agree with that.
It's so good. Like, it uses all of its minutes so well. I even like the fucking motif of the nobody likes you. It gets old, but the way that they do it, I feel like is really well done.
In Homecoming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is cool. I mean, also, American Idiot, it's a classic
Great
song.
opener.
We played it, when AJ and I were in college, we played it in the pep band.
We did,
at ice
yeah.
hockey games. And I have fond memories of that, too. It's just a good-ass time. Billy Joe Armstrong is a fantastic vocalist. And I'd argue that he's actually getting better.
Okay, yeah.
I have to admit, he's getting better. No, like, I feel like he's like less like monotone with his delivery now, but now is kind of like learning to belt even more, which is cool. But I like this album a lot.
Very cool story through and through. A lot of the deep cuts are actually really good.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised like a lot of people don't talk about more. Like Give Me Novocaine, I love that song.
That is a fun one. I love Wake Me Up When September Ends. I know everybody plays it. It's like, my emo time, you know? Like
wake me up.
Wake me up when September ends. I don't want to go to school. No, I don't know who that voice was.
Was that some like deep-seated?
That was, I think that was either Beavis or Butthead from the hit show.
I see,
Beavis and Butthead.
but it's Schrodinger's.
We're totally score. Schrodinger's
Butthead.
Schrodinger's Butthead is crazy. Oh my gosh. It's a very, very, I think it's a rewarding album to listen to.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Right above that, this one was a weird placement for me, but this might also be for nostalgic purposes, and as I've been kind of becoming more warm on them, I think the highs on this album, despite how we reviewed it on the episode, it would disagree. But since then, I've listened to it. It's X and Y by Coldplay.
Okay.
I think I've become a bit more warm on this album again as a whole. Mm-hmm. I do think a lot of it does sound similar, but of the ones that I always remember, I do very much like it, except Fix You.
Yeah.
It's just not a good track.
No.
It just makes me feel icky now, which sucks because it sounds great, but it sucks.
Because really bad sentiment.
Really bad sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you also get songs like Speed of Sound, What If, which is just like this really nice orchestral arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
Swallowed in the Sea is all right.
Uh-huh.
What else do we got? We also got The Hardest Part, which is better than Talk, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of really fun moments on this album. I could see it kind of getting lost in the haze if you're trying to do an active listen, because it does sound very similar. Mm-hmm. But like, I think this album is very much like a core like portion of my listening journey back when I was like diving really deep into artists.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing about this podcast. I don't really listen to artists all the way through that much anymore. I'm kind of more just on like an album by album basis, unless like I really like an album or an artist, I mean. So I don't know. It's been interesting, but I think I still have a soft spot for Coldplay, and I do very much think that the highs on this album are pretty high for me. So I do enjoy it.
Fair enough.
Speed of Sound. It's so funny Chris Martin hates that song because it's like the best song on that album, and it's a good song, genuinely. So good. Number 18 is an album that I didn't really think that I would like that much because I felt kind of so about it. And that's God Save the Animals by Alex G.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, Alex G has been kind of hitting for me lately. I've been listening to a lot of his other stuff. I found out he's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
He does like this bit where he walks out on his audience a lot, but then he'll just like come back in. And it's cool. A lot of his other projects have like snuck their way algorithmically into like my music listening. Him and Sufjan Stevens. I've been listening to a lot of him lately. He's got good shit.
I haven't listened to any Sufjan Stevens, but I hear great things.
Illinois is a great album.
Yeah.
High key recommend. Honestly, none of his albums really miss. Like, there are definitely ones I think you would like more than other ones, but like none of his albums miss like at all. He's a very competent musician.
Sick.
But so is Alex G, and I think that this album is just really fun. I love like the weird, like, I wouldn't even say trippy instrumentals, but the way that the instruments like flow into one another, it almost makes it sound like the track is like alive, like a living, like, I don't know, like headroom piano, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
That one is really, really good.
Peter Griffin's favorite, Early Morning Waiting.
Early Morning Waiting.
Bina, I told you to stop.
God, Andrew Marshall really hit the nail on the head with that impression.
Yeah,
I feel like
it was great.
Like, it was just so funny. Oh my gosh. But I don't know, just like something about it just never ceases to like amaze me with just how interesting some of the melodies are. Like how I like his singing voice too. Like how it just like really complements the music very, very well. No Bitterness was the one that I wanted to call out. That was one that I liked on like that episode, and it has shown up and I've never skipped it.
Nice.
Upon the recent re-listen, I was like, man, I should really listen to this more. Like, I could see him becoming an artist that I might do a deep,
oh hell yeah,
like dive into.
Nice.
I'm kind of doing that with Sufjan Stevens right now.
Gotcha.
It's fun. It's a very, very cool album.
I wish I could say more, but I don't really remember it that much.
It's okay. It's a good part of indie. Next is Congratulations by MGMT.
Very cool.
I really like this album a lot.
Really good one.
Like, every track on here does not miss, I would argue. I love just the references to surf rock. I love how they directly pay homage to Brian Eno.
Yeah.
The whole crux of the album of them trying to deal with the fact that being famous might not be all that it's cracked up to be. That's just a really like great theme, I think, not just for like an artist perspective, but just like in life in general.
Exactly.
Sometimes you work your way up to something and it might just not be like, it
What
might
you're
not give you the
looking for.
sensations that like you're seeking.
You're not fulfilled.
Exactly. And I think that's just, it's such a real album. The closer is like almost gutting, I would argue.
Especially with everything that comes before. It's just such like a downturn. It's crazy.
For real. Like it's a cool album, and they truly had like a vision for it, which was really, really admirable. I just love like, it's so wacky and almost like cartoony. I think I compared it to like Scooby-Doo chase music at some point. I know at the last time I didn't really like Lady Dada's Nightmare. But it's kind of grown on me. Gotcha. I found that one to be like eerie when I listened to it last time, but like thematically, it's cool that it's on there, and it was also the penultimate track. Like the album's pacing is just really, really nice. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Someone's Missing is still like my favorite track on the album. It's just good. Even though it kind of has a slow start, I just love like the weird, like almost like sunken, like I don't even know how to describe it. Sunken yet like ambient. Like I don't know. It's something about it. But then when it punches, it fucking punches.
Yeah,
like,
during the
my
choruses.
God. It's a good time. I Found a Whistle is great.
Siberian Breaks, I think, is like my favorite track on the album.
I would argue it's the best song on the album.
100%.
Like
It's just
genuinely.
a full-on composition, just dead at center in this album is incredible.
And it doesn't feel like overwhelming or anything like that, which is insane. Then also Flash Delirium.
It's
I
fun.
really like that one too.
Yeah.
It's working. I don't know why I don't have that one liked, because I like that song.
Good opener.
It's again like the surf rock, and it's so like, it's such a great indicator of like what this album is going to give you, despite it having like all these different like twists and turns.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the album cover makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Just the fucking
big old cat
surfing on the fucking on the wave that looks like a cat. But there's also another cat.
That's be eaten by that cat.
Tune into our episode with Cat that we just did. Oh, man. But as we move forward, I have to acknowledge an album that I brought on, yet did not give nearly enough praise to.
Okay.
And that is The Ambassador by Gabriel Kane. This album fucks so hard, and I've listened to it a lot since we talked about it. There's so many great tracks on here. I still don't know a lot of the meanings of them. Like, I've looked up the meaning of Slumlord Crocodile and still haven't been able to find anything. But that one is just so good. It's got that nice tropical feel. Black Garden is fantastic. Musso and Frank is just this really nice, like,
swank.
sleazy. Empire Liquor Mart talks about racial injustice in the city. Like, I love his, like, sort of internal dialogue as he's saying, like, who wears a fishing nest when you're working at a liquor store? Because they're hiding a gun to defend, and it's like crazy. Because it's like, why are you even defending? Like, what is going on? The people at the church, they don't read from the book of Job. Like, it's full of great arrangements that feel very purposeful and like earn their meanings, even if some of the meanings are a little bit less easy to grasp than other ones. Oh, what's the one? Black Garden is really, really good. Villains is a great track. The
Villains
drums
is a really
on
good
that
one.
one, just oh my god.
And really like uniquely kind of composed with like just the difference between the verses and the choruses and how they sound. It's very, very cool.
Bradbury is also pretty good. I enjoyed that one. That comes right after Black Garden, which is the opener.
What about Blade Runner?
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's just got a lot of great tracks. Even like the closer, Union Station. There's just like this kind of essence of like doom and gloom. But he has such a beautiful voice, and just like his musical prowess just gets really shown throughout this, with like the strings that are over top and like the production styles, and then sometimes the slight like funk that happens. He's a really cool composer, and I think genuinely, like, I hope I can create something someday that's as purposeful as like that album.
Hell yeah, man.
It's that I needed to put it higher on my list because I did not give it nearly as much credit. Right above that is Marshall Mathers LP at 15.
Gotcha.
Listen, this album is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine.
It's good. I mean, I'm not denying.
The samples are just really, really fun. They serve Eminem as an MC so well with his just like over the top cartoony style of like songwriting, production work, lyricism. Like, he just knows what he was doing. He had like a clear vision on this album, which is a shame because the rest of his albums, in my opinion, are just kind of like yikes. Not yikes. Yikes is
There's ups and downs.
Some of his albums are yikes.
Yeah.
But there are some. I don't think there are any albums that are like as tight as this one. If I'm being honest, The Way I Am is just like my favorite track on here. Kim is a tough listen,
but it's also like really well done.
It is
what it is.
It is. The way that he kind of does it in like a slam poetry style is like kind of cool. What else is on there? Stan.
Iconic.
Dear Slim. So fucking good.
Drug Ballad, I think, is an underrated one.
Yeah,
that one.
That one is really, really good. I even like the ending where he's like he just robs the bank.
Yeah.
Kill You is also a pretty good like real opener. Oh my gosh, fucking The Real Slim Shady. That song is also fantastic.
One of his biggest for a reason.
Remember Me, I'm not very fond of. If I'm not really.
Yeah.
Ken Kniff is a 10 out of 10.
It's the best song on the album.
Unfortunately, we referenced it many times.
All throughout season 1 and 2.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not have that lasting impression.
Yeah.
Had you ever heard it before?
No.
It'd be crazy if like your algorithm's like, like your Spotify DJ's like, all right, I'm going to give you something that you never heard before.
Thanks for listening to Smashing Pumpkins. We're going to switch it up with something right up that alley. It's Ken Kniff.
Ken Kniff up first. You ever do Spotify DJ?
Not often.
I do it a lot because the voice, it's so funny. I love how the range of like Spotify DJ, because he'll be like, all right, I'm going to give you some trauma that I didn't know you had. We're going to do some. But that's how he sounds.
Yeah.
Sounds like Ice-T and fucking Law & Order SVU. It's fantastic. Bitch Please 2.
Yeah. That one's good.
I like that one, but I also just find it hilarious because we still don't know the answer of where it came from.
Exactly. Where's Bitch Please 1?
Oh, man.
Amityville, I think, is one of the weaker moments on that album.
Amityville.
It's a civilian in Amityville.
Think that it won't, but goddammit, he will. It's a shit song, not gonna lie. But
the highs definitely outweigh the lows, at least.
They really do. They really, really do. And the skits.
They're fun.
Even despite Ken Kniff.
Yeah.
It's there for a reason.
Exactly.
So above that is Innuendo by Queen. This is a weird album. The more and more I've revisited it, because I still listen to Queen, kind of went back on a bit of like a Queen kick. This is weird for a lot of context, especially since this is the last album Freddie Mercury made before he died. It's so interesting to think that like Delilah was one of the songs that he decided to write and
needed to be
sing,
on that album.
and it's about his cat.
And it's fun. It's one of the
fun.
better ones.
But there are a lot of tracks on there that are really, really good. I love the intro.
So good.
Innuendo is like, in my opinion, there are songs in their discography that I view as like Bohemian Rhapsody 1, Bohemian Rhapsody 2. Innuendo is like Bohemian Rhapsody 2 for me. I would argue.
It just, and the way that it's like composed, it's very like out there, very artsy, with all like the different kind of like genre twists that go through all throughout. It's very well done.
As the first rock band that like I ever got into, I will never forget like the serotonin on the school bus, listening in my headphones to fucking Innuendo, and just hearing the freaking like, and then like other tracks like I Can't Live With You, The Show Must Go On.
I'm Going Slightly Mad.
That one kind of fucks. I'm not gonna lie.
That one.
That one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bijou has grown on me.
Okay.
It's a very stylistic track, and I think I've appreciated it more, especially since it's like instrumental, then the bridge is him singing, and then it's like instrumental again.
Yeah, song in reverse, I believe is how he put it.
Even though he what's it called? Wrote it about a bird.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a very weird like concept, but I do enjoy it for what it is. And like I'm a Queen fanatic still at 23 since high school, so like honestly, it's a good time.
Yeah.
It's definitely just a very interesting placement in like the history of where Queen was, especially given the fact that like Freddie was like on his deathbed.
Literally, and The Show Must Go On is like such a defiant statement for like his like health conditions, and it's such a great Queen song and a great moment on that album.
And the fact that he sang it in one take and that became the take that went worldwide,
yeah,
is the craziest thing ever.
Badass.
I do think like the highs are really, really high and they outshine the lows enough. There's like one or two stinkers on here. The Hitman kind of blows.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Ride the Wild Wind.
That one just has like a weird vibe to it. All God's People is like good.
Yeah.
I don't seek it out very often. I do seek out Headlong. Headlong's
fun. It's silly.
Whoop diddy diddy, whoop diddy doo.
You got soup in the laundry bag.
Sucking on chili dog. Oh man, good shit. I still listen to it. Queen is still one of my favorite bands. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Capping off my B tier at 13th place is Death of a Bachelor.
I was waiting for it. I was like, I have not heard it yet. Where's it going?
You were like, please do not
Top
put it
10
in the S tier. No, I put this at the top of my B tier. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with Panic at the Disco right now. This is, I hate to say it, completely biased, nostalgia-based. I think there are high moments on here that, although the low moments are very obnoxious, like I don't really like Victorious as an opener, or just as a song in general. There are tracks on here that I do, for some reason, still gravitate towards. Like, I love Death of a Bachelor itself. It is a great track.
Yeah.
Golden Days is such a nothing song, but I love it so much. It's so compressed though. Like, I don't know why the instrumental could be like so lush, but then they just focused on like the noise.
Yeah.
But like, I still like it. Impossible Years, like my favorite Panic at the Disco song of like all time, besides a couple off of Pretty Odd. That one's great.
LA Devotees, one of the best ones on that album.
I'd argue like, yeah, top 3. Emperor's New Clothes is ass. I used to really like it. I'll never listen to it besides listening to the full album.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy kind of listening to the full album in my old days of being 23.
Exactly. Matt was little at 21, and now he's old at 23.
That's true. I didn't mature until this podcast.
Yeah, that was put in a cocoon.
A cuckoo cocoon.
If you will.
Oh, man. I don't love House of Memories, only because out of all the songs that trended, why did it have to be that one, which is arguably like even more of a nothing song is what I'm trying to say than Golden Days. Hallelujah is one where it's like I also really just like the vibes of that one. It's weirdly positive, but I also feel like the positive notes are less jarring on this album than like the next album.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like honestly anything from this album clears anything from Pray for the Wicked.
That's true. Even Crazy Equals Genius, which I do think is a weird song, but I think also kind of works because this kind of matches the more like that matches more of the Roaring 20s vibe than I feel like, you know. The Good, the Bad, and the Dirty. I don't know what it's about, but I do like it. Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time is a hit or miss for me. I could either like it one day or I could really hate it another day. It's not a song that I would ever really seek out by myself.
I mean, I know where I stand personally.
All right. Good. I just woke up in my underwear. But let's keep winding down. We are now in my A tier.
Hell yeah.
This one might kind of shock you. At the bottom of my A tiers, at number 12, is Mr. Bungle.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, I'm not huge on metal.
Yeah.
But I am huge on good musicianship, and this shit is kind of gas. Like, there are some moments on this where I'm like, okay, this might be a little too much for me. And I remember when I first listened to this on the podcast, I was like, what am I listening to?
Like Egg.
But I've come to kind of appreciate Egg. Oh, fuck. What's the one about the dog, too? That one's really good. You're Such a Good Boy? Is that what it's called?
I forget what it's called. It's something about... It's the dog's name, I'm pretty sure. I forget what it is, though.
I really like this album, though. Like, I can't not appreciate some of the switch-ups. And also, like, when I really want to feel, like, just pure, raw energy, I'm like, I need to put on this album.
Yeah.
I love the intro and hate the intro because I wish it would just hit right away instead of just having that silence.
Yeah.
Because it scares me, like, every single time.
It's tense.
I also really like just the lore around that, the whole Travolta thing.
Yeah.
Squeeze Me Macaroni is goofy as shit.
It's so funny. I love that one.
It's fun though.
Yeah.
And I love just like the whole like clown motif. I think they utilized their pacing and like their runtime really well.
Yeah.
Even like the Girls of Porn. That
Dude,
track,
I fucking love that one.
That track is so filthy, but oh my god, the instrumental is
so hard. I love it.
It's the most accessible and the least accessible
at
of
the
the
same
album,
time,
and I love it.
It's great.
Dead Goon is also pretty good.
That's the closer, right?
Yeah.
That's another favorite of mine. I think just like the studio imagery of like the dude literally hanging himself is just like such a powerful moment. Just like holy shit.
Yeah. Even after you get the adrenaline rush of just like this entire album, when you get to that moment, you're like, oh my god.
It's like a cold shower. It's crazy. It sticks with you.
It doesn't leave. No.
Yeah.
But even like tracks in the middle, like Egg and Carousel, I've really come to appreciate this.
Yeah.
Egg. Egg. Listen. It's like Ween.
Yeah,
like, it very much reminds me of like Tick.
Oh,
by
totally.
Ween. Just I don't know. Even though this, I would argue, is a lot more polished than Godween Satan, I think it still has a lot of the charm and like abrasiveness of Godween Satan, and I can appreciate that with humor etched in there too.
Oh, totally.
I don't know if I'd ever really seek out their other stuff. I tried to listen to Disco Volante, and I didn't really care for it like too much.
You just listen to California because that's regarded as like their best.
I have not.
I think you'd enjoy it. I think I like it more than their self-titled. It's very different. A lot more like foot on the brake.
Okay.
A lot more subtle, but like very well done.
I should listen to it because I kind of like metal now. But here we are at the last one before our top 10.
Word.
I was so close to putting this at number 10, but I just felt like it would have been a little sacrilege if I put it at 10 above some other things, or really above another one. And that is Meet the Residents.
Gotcha.
Damn, dude. Fucking love this album so much.
Hell yeah, man.
Like, every single track on here, I remember when I first listened to it, I like, this makes my stomach hurt. But like now, all the tracks on here are so fun.
I know.
I don't put it on like all the time, but there's always like a moment where like I'm bored. Should I put on the Residents? Like there's something about it that I'm like, I can't. It's kind of got like a chokehold on me right now.
Hell yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously Infant Tango.
Fantastic.
So fun.
Rest Aria.
I even just love like the 4-track suite of like Boots. There's fucking
Guy Lombardo, right?
Numb Iron.
Yeah.
That's another one that I really, really like. Seasoned Greetings.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid, but I love it. And so he's like singing like that. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, it's just a weird, like...
experiment.
Yeah. I was not prepared when you gave me this album. I had, like, no idea what I was getting into. But, like, yeah, no, Spotted Pinto Bean. Oh, my God.
That one's great.
The Spotted Pinto Bean! Oh, man. They just really threw everything at the wall and it stuck. But it's regarded as, like, one of the best, like... avant-garde albums, right?
I think so. Yeah, it's one of the best in their catalog. I think the only one that like might top it is the one that came, I don't know if it's directly after, but a little bit after, called Not Available, which is an interesting album in its own right. Perhaps a future episode one day.
I'd be down.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed The Residents. I've listened to bits and pieces of their other albums. Like there's one where it's like a gingerbread man.
Yeah,
I've listened to something off of that. It was interesting. It was a very interesting time.
They actually just dropped an album this year.
They're still alive.
Yeah, I saw them live in concert.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. And you did say you didn't really care for it. Unfortunately,
I did say that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. This album is just very interesting, and I've never heard anything like it. And it stuck with me, I think, for the better.
Yeah.
So
that makes me happy, man.
This almost made it into my top 10, but I felt like we're still in the A tier.
Yeah.
But we are now in the top 10. There's
what do we got?
There's only 4 in S tier.
Gotcha. Valid.
But at number 10, we do have In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson.
Good shit.
I definitely, out of all the albums, these like 10 albums are albums that like I still put in my rotation like all of the time.
Yeah.
This album is really, really good. I put it on at work a couple months ago and was just like, wow. What an amazing cornerstone for like prog rock this is. Like everything about this album is so cool. Schizoid Man just
fantastic
bangs.
Opener.
It's culturally like in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, thanks to Kanye West, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the only good thing that he did in the recent times.
Yeah.
Schizoid Man, I Talk to the Wind is also just amazing. The dream sequence is just like, oh my god, like it's not what it's called, but isn't there like a dream?
It's the second to last track. I forgot what it is. Moonchild. That one, yeah.
That shit is just so awesome. It hits so hard. The closer is really good.
I love the closer.
In the Court of the Crimson King.
So good.
This is also another one where it's like the song is just like, especially the last track and the first track are just the album cover.
Totally.
You just can feel the madness.
He's the Schizoid Man.
It's crazy. And like, this one definitely left a lasting impression on me for sure. Something about this album, especially like, because didn't you say Greg Lake was on here?
He was the lead singer of this band before he did ELP.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, the tracks are long, yet they don't overstay their welcome. It's paced brilliantly. Their usage of like real instruments and Mellotron is like it's to be commended without a doubt. We definitely gave it a lot of its praise on that episode, but I think it deserved to be in the 10th place. But we're going into number 9. Number 9. Sorry. Number 9 is an album that I frequently return to, and that is Drunk by Thundercat.
Hell yeah, man.
This album is just kind of legendary, if I'm being honest. Like, Thundercat is just such a great musician. I've never disliked a single thing that I've listened to by him. Phenomenal bassist, amazing arranger.
Great producer,
funny lyricist.
Oh yeah.
Even just like a good vocalist. Like he doesn't like go over the top with it, but he knows exactly like just how much to give without stealing the show or making it weird or anything like that. Drunk by Thundercat, it has a lot of amazing moments. I'm just gonna name all the ones that I have liked. Captain Stupido, so funny. A lot of fun. Bussin' These Streets. A Fan's Mellotron Suite is like one of my favorite tracks on here.
So chill.
Same with Lava Lamp. Show You the Way is, oh my god.
Fucking Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins.
I love the fact that they introduce it like just like,
ladies and gentlemen, Michael McDonald.
It's fantastic. Walk On By is so underrated.
Yeah, the Kendrick feature?
Oh my god. Like, and Kendrick just knows exactly how to like work a track no matter what the vibe is. But it's like, it's a sadder song too, which I enjoy.
Totally.
Tokyo is just an insane instrumental.
Yeah.
Jamil's Space Ride, also very fun.
Yeah.
Friend Zone. Like, that
Kombat.
shit is like, oh my god. Them Changes is a classic.
Of course.
Like, it is popular for a reason. It's so good. Drink That with Wiz Khalifa. I haven't listened to a lot of Wiz Khalifa.
Neither have I.
But I
like Drink That.
Drink That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I'd say like 3 a.m. is like where my favorite tracks like kind of end. Just all of those tracks are so masterfully made. They don't overstay their welcome. They're produced like so well. And lyrically, it really keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Which
totally.
I like. And I also kind of like how this album is kind of a concept album, but like loose enough where you don't really need to be like purely invested to enjoy what's happening. So yeah, I felt that it was a very necessary add to my top 10 at number 9.
Good shit, man. And stay tuned, Family Heads. Might be revisiting that pretty soon.
Number 8 might be kind of a shock, but since we listened to it the first time, I never stopped. It's Rock Spectacle. By the Bare Naked Ladies.
Gotcha.
I just really I like this album more than their studio albums.
Have you listened to like more of their studio albums?
A little bit, yeah. Like, I like the live version. I think Jane's studio version is good.
Yeah.
But I like If I Had $1 Million. I like These Apples. Fucking The Old Apartment.
Yeah.
I don't love the concept of Old Straw Hat and Dirty Hank, but I do like the song. It's got a lot of really great moments. I like the lead singer's voices because there's 2 of them, I believe, throughout the entirety of the album. But their instrumentation is like really, really good. The mixing is really good for a live album. Like, it's intimate, and then when the audience kind of like comes in, it creates like a nice living like atmosphere that I've very much enjoyed. Brian Wilson.
Yeah,
also a really, really good song. I love all the stories that Evan said about Brian Wilson like playing this like one of their songs better than they did or whatever, and then being like, "All right, guys, don't eat too much." It's like, what the fuck?
Thank you, Brian.
Oh man, it's just a really cool like staple in their career because like they definitely had enough of a discography to like celebrate a lot of the tracks that they made.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool that even after the time had passed, they still sounded, I mean, honestly, maybe even better than how the studio versions sound.
For real.
I've checked out a lot of the discography. Jane is definitely my favorite song, just period, by the Bare Naked Ladies. After 1 week, of course. I actually have never listened to that song.
Like actively, just like besides
Ever.
Like, oh, gotcha.
I know how it goes, but every single time like I ever see it like on Spotify, I actively skip it.
I mean, that makes sense.
Like,
I was in What We Do in the Shadows.
Wasn't it also Digimon?
I couldn't tell you that.
I'm pretty sure it's the Digimon theme song.
Is it real? The theme song?
No, not the theme song. It was in the Digimon movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was the main song for the Digimon movie. I'm pretty sure is what my friend Allie said.
I'm just imagining like this fucking anime, but it opens up with just
it's been 1 week since you looked at me. I've listened to like I've heard it in memes and stuff like that, but I've never listened to the song in full. I refuse to. There's some things I refuse to like listen or watch, and one of them is Skibbity Toilet.
Valid.
That is the Skibbity Toilet of music, in my opinion.
I see. Yeah, they're pretty comparable. Yeah.
But I very much like this as an album. I put it on whenever I just kind of want like a good vibe.
Yeah.
Speaking of good vibes, at number 7, we got Led Zeppelin 4.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh my god, this album is so good. I don't think I gave it as much appreciation as like I should have. Like this fucking album,
it's fantastic.
It's legendary. Like I don't know how I didn't get into Led Zeppelin like before we did the episode. Probably because I was more Queen focused.
Yeah.
But like Black Dog, fucking Stairway to Heaven, even though people are like, oh my god, the riff. It's still
a good song.
It's a great song. Misty Mountain, like, oh my
Mountain.
god, fucking
rock and roll.
Going to California might be like one of my favorite tracks on the album.
Makes sense.
And then also like Where the Levee Breaks. That is
Great
also
closer.
a really, really good one.
Just a really fucking awesome like rock album, like one of the most like defining of the genre, like one of the band's best they ever did. A great starter album, which was our theme for that episode.
That is true. Some nights I don't think really got on the same page as that, but I'm very happy that was the chance that I got to like listen to the album, because like they were always a name that like I had heard but never really checked out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of starting to listen to more of their stuff now.
Good stuff.
And yeah, no, it's a really, really cool listening experience. Black Dog is fantastic. Lonely. Good shit.
Hell yeah, man.
At number 6 is Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. I am a huge Simon and Garfunkel fan. I've been since like when I started college back in 2020, and their songs just kind of taught me an aspect of music that like I didn't really know that I needed in my life.
Yeah.
Like just the really peaceful instrumentals with like they kind of got me into folk, like just period.
Of course, yeah.
And I really just enjoy Paul Simon's lyricism and his instrumentation like paired with Art Garfunkel's like really versatile voice. It's got a lot of great tracks on there that sometimes give you a nice calm vibe and then otherwise kind of rip, like Richard Corey.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, so good.
And there's like the softer, more introspection moments, like Most Peculiar Man.
Yeah, that one hits me deep. It reminds me of somebody I used to know. Not the song by Gautier. I'm talking about someone I actually knew
in real life.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. Yeah, this song reminds me of
Gautier.
That'd be crazy. Even Anji, even though I'm not like the most fond of that, because it just feels like a carbon copy of Somewhere They Can't Find Me. Because I've always talked to you about the frustration I've had where I'm like, is this the beginning of that song or the other song? But it's a good time. Sound of Silence rock version. I know they don't like it, but unfortunately,
I like it better.
It's really good. I like both equally, but it's so good. Like the drums just kind of make it like this.
It just drives it forward. And
it's a good opener, I think. I think it's a pretty good opener. I think it's a pretty well-paced album. April Comes She Will. Kathy's song, Leaves That Are Green. Oh my god. yeah, just it's full of these tracks that like I never stop listening to. It's a very seasonal album for me, but like every season I'll just put it on.
Yeah.
So I love like walking on like kind of a sunny day and like listening to it because it just feels like
just being like one with nature.
Yeah. No, it's a good time. So that is why it is at number 6. Number 5, it is the new fan favorite, American football.
Hell yeah, baby. Let's go.
It's, oh my God. Like, it's so funny how much of a change I've had from what I thought of it originally to like what I think of it now. Because everything about it that I hated, I now love.
Yeah.
Like the subtleties, the singing not being like the best, but like still serving the instrumental really, really well.
Yeah.
I love just like the really nice like instrument choices. Like I think the Summer Ends, that's the one that's like,
yeah,
like that one. Oh my gosh. So good. Just a good time.
It's excellent.
It really is. And like I know I complained about the drums being like too muted or whatever the last time, but I think they just really add to the nice like
just overall like feel of the album.
Because at that point I viewed like rock and I guess emo before I like learned more Midwestern emo. I viewed it more as like it needs to be like in your face and stuff like that. But this is so nice because like the instrumentals lend a lot of room for like really few but yet impactful lyrics to just kind of like live in the space in your mind. And I don't know, I think when you're really like feeling introspective, it's a great album to throw on.
Totally.
Stay Home is one of my favorite tracks. Did we ever tell the audience as to why?
I don't know if we have. It's in the episode. If not, on this episode, let's go ahead and tell them.
I don't think we ever actually did. Because on that episode,
oh yeah, we recorded that before it happened.
That was before. So it was on St. Patty's Day, like 2 years ago, I guess now, or it's about to be 2 years ago, probably. So I was having a really, really shitty time at a bar. Me and AJ went to, it was like after I was in a musical and it was after that, 'cause like the run of the show night did not go very well.
Yeah,
there was like a lot of
people.
Shitty people were like everywhere, and it was just a weird scene. So we were leaving, and we saw that there is like a very fancy not karaoke, but like jukebox.
Yeah. That you cue pretty much anything you wanted on there. And I was like, out of curiosity, like, I wonder if I have American football.
So we put on Stay Home by American Football.
And then Irish Goodbye.
It was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And because of that too, I have very fond memories of the song.
Yeah.
It's also just the, well, that's life.
So social.
Which went from being my least favorite song to like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
For the meme and also just for the good time. I told everybody on this podcast that I listened to it when I played Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
And it very much changed my perspective. I was like, oh wow, this is actually really good. So yeah. Thanks,
football.
Leon Kennedy.
And it has we dubbed a changing of opinion of an album, the American Football Situation.
That's true. That's true. Whether or not that will happen again, I don't know. I'd like to think maybe, because it shows my progress and growth of my taste, but also it's very possible that it won't happen again.
Exactly.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll hate an album.
Yeah. Like American Football 2.
I've never listened to it.
Neither have I. Or the American Football 3. I've only listened to that one.
I heard it's like fine, but just not the original,
Yeah.
which it's kind of hard to be the original.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're in the 4th place.
This is S tiers, right? Because you had 4.
This is S tiers.
Yeah.
At the bottom of my S tiers, we have Timely by Henri.
Hell yeah, man.
This album catapulted me into city pop and just a bunch of different genres and artists that I would have never found if I never listened to this. I've listened to a bit of Henri's discography. I listened to like their second album. Pretty damn good. I enjoyed that. But this album is fantastic. From Windy Summer, even Cat's Eye, which I'm not like, it's not my favorite. It's still just such a good intro.
Oh yeah, totally.
I Can't Stop the Loneliness is my favorite track on there, and I listen to it all of the time.
Shyness Boy is a banger.
Shyness Boy
Love
is
that
a
one.
banger. You Are Not Alone. I'm
Windy Summer.
Did I say Windy Summer?
I don't remember.
Windy Summer is great.
Again.
Windy Summer again, yeah. Lost Love in the Rain.
That's it.
That's what it's called. What was it? Stay By Me is awesome.
Yeah.
I love you, stay by me.
Come on, I need your love, yeah.
Pecker, you pecked me.
He did peck quite a lot on that album.
It's just a good time, and I very much love city pop. It's like one of my go-to genres right now. I found, oh my god, this is kind of a slight tangent. I found a like a beat maker artist named what's his name?
Macross?
Macross.
82.99?
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit. His album, Cham.
I don't know that one. I know A Million Miles Away.
That one's fantastic because it has Sarah Benito.
Yeah.
Oh my, I love Cara Benito, by the way. They're like one of my favorite artists right now.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Macross is incredible. His album Cham, I don't know how it's pronounced. It has an exclamation point at the end. It's in all caps. It has a song on there called Miss Macross, and it's like a city pop, like
future funk.
Yeah. And it's fantastic. I've been really getting into him. It got me really into Takanaka.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It got me into like a lot of other Japanese artists and composers that like honestly, I would have never have gotten into otherwise. Rubia is another one. I really like this album. All the tracks are great. Yeah, incredible, it's deserving of being in S tier in my opinion.
Great summer album for those who are interested.
Precursor to a later album that we're going to be reviewing.
That's true. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that. Right above that, this is also purely for nostalgia because I can't let this album go. It's Gone Now by Bleachers.
Yeah.
I love this album. I'm always gonna love this album. This is like one of my first like forays into the weirdness that is my music taste. I think this is Bleachers like at their best. I think after this album, like I love Take the Sadness of a Saturday Night, but like it's not as good as this one.
Yeah.
This one was just a good encapsulation of like their sound when they're going more electronic and stuff and like the more interesting production style. And I like to keep this as like a time capsule of where I found them because genuinely this album is just a really good time. I love Good Morning. I love Mickey Mantle. Hate That You Know Me. All My Heroes. Black Dress. Foreign Girls. Like all of these. Nothing Is You is also fantastic. Just all those songs are amazing. I Miss Those Days.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. This one I knew I had to kind of keep in S tier because I know I put this in S tier in season 1, I believe, and I think it's gonna stay there for me.
Hey, it's totally fair.
It was just him at his best.
Yeah.
Because right now, Jack Antonoff
is not
one of my favorite people. My gosh. Number 2 is Floral Shop.
Damn. Okay.
Because this album, oh my god, like. Stay tuned for a later episode, Family Heads, but I love Vaporwave. I've gotten very into Vaporwave and like mall soft especially, just as a genre. It's just a good time. I love how it's like kind of a concept album, but like not really.
Yeah.
Because I've learned that like a lot of Vaporwave albums have like nuances to them that don't steal away from the entirety of like
the sound
or the listening experience. But like when you kind of notice them, it's like that's a really cool addition that they have there.
A lot of like recurring like themes or just like ideas that go into them.
Boot, Lisa Frank.
Oh yeah.
Floral Shop, Library, Geography even. Echo.
Chill Diving with Echo.
That one.
I Am Pico.
I Am Pico is fantastic. The one with all the birds. Is that Pico? That might be Pico. I even like the extended ones like Seabed and I think it's Moon is what it's called. Just Macintosh Plus, man. They
Phenomenal
made
album.
good stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, just I've thrown it on so often when I just need to like fill a certain void, you know? There's something about it I can't describe.
Yeah, definitely earns the title of like the face of Vaporwave.
I would say so. But at number 1,
what do we got?
We have Scarin' the Hose.
We did do that on season 1.
Mafia and Danny Brown.
Hell yeah, man.
This album I honestly attribute to the start of my hip-hop journey. I've listened to this album in full several times. There are so many tracks on here that just bang.
Yeah.
I love both of them as vocalists. Rappers are vocalists, guys. Yeah. Shut up. I don't know who was yelling at me.
All 6 of you.
Yeah, all 6 of you, shut the fuck up. No, like, honestly, as MCs, Danny Brown and JPEG just know how to work any kind of track. They play off each other so well.
Brilliantly.
They're so funny.
Yeah.
And then some of the samples are just ridiculous.
The amount of creativity that went into this album is so admirable. There's like making a sample out of shit you would not expect, but having it work so well is just so commendable.
God Loves You.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Fucking
Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, the title track, Scaring the Hose.
Perfect
Is so good. That one I kind of burnt myself out on because I listen to it like all the time.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts Key is also really good.
Fantastic.
Orange Juice Jones.
Jack Harlow combo meal.
That one's hilarious. It's just got so many great Lean Beef Patty. Oh my god.
Great opener.
I love that track. It's just got so many great tracks on there, and like it just doesn't let your attention die. And I am so happy that it kind of got me into like rap and hip hop, especially like abstract hip hop.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where like my taste and all that lies. And I feel like I found a lot of great rappers and artists and producers since then. So it's very special in my heart, which is why it is the highest one from season 1.
Hell yeah, man.
In S tier. And yeah, his next album was also fucking amazing.
That it was.
Even the extended version. I enjoyed those tracks quite a lot.
If you want thoughts on that album, check out our 2024 album ranking.
Yeah. If you want my thoughts on the rise and fall of the Midwest Princess.
We're still waiting.
Oh, man. But yes, that does conclude my season 1 ranking.
All 5 parts.
All 5 parts. I'm going to, hopefully I split this up into, if you made it here to part 5, good on you.
Leave a like, comment, number 5.
But yeah, this was interesting. It was weird that it was like a me focused episode. I hope I didn't prattle on too much.
No. I mean, I enjoyed seeing where these ranked. I was gonna say surprised by your top 10, but like, I guess like surprised like a lot of the albums that I brought on the show got up there, which was like really cool. That like, especially Scaring the Hose having such an impact on you, that made me really happy.
Honestly, like I'm not that surprised that a lot of them were yours because like some of the albums I brought on were not the best, and like
Fair enough.
Yeah. I like to think that I bring albums now that are at least a bit better now that I've listened to like just so many at this point. It's a shame because we kind of have some shit like blocked out for like the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because there's some great 2025 albums that I've been listening to. And
it's true.
My God. Just, oh my gosh. Stay tuned for that though, maybe in season 4. Because we are kind of nearing the end a little bit.
We are. We've got about like a couple more months left of this block, or the season, I should say. And then we're going to be on hiatus for a little bit before we come back in the fall.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. We got a lot of great stuff for you, as always. But this has been a very nice retrospective episode of Family Meeting. As always, my name is Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tenari.
And we will see you next week with a regular episode. Peace.